Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are I'm back. It's been a long time since I made a video. It's been a couple months. It's been months since you guys seen a video from me, and especially a reaction video. But today is your boy's favorite artist's birthday. If you can't tell by the title of the video, we're going to be reacting to Eminem again. Yes, it's Eminem's birthday. Happy birthday to the motherfucking GOAT, Eminem, Marshall Mathers, B Rabbit, whatever you can think of, that is him. The man has been in this business for a long time, but today we're going to be tackling a topic that no one really knows about, and it's about your boy right here. It's about your boy. So back in like 2007, when he was taking that break from Encore, your boy was gonna quit rap. In 2006, he got divorced, his second divorce with his wife finalized, and he lost his best friend. He was going through a lot of drug addicting substances, and your boy was in a rough spot of his life, so people kept telling him that he was washed up and he wasn't doing any good, because Encore at the time was like the revival now. People didn't like it and told him that he should quit rapping. So we're going to be checking out this video. This was the only video that explains more about the situation of this King Mathers album that was never released. We got leaked tracks from other people that have released it, but your boy hasn't made a... In an alternate universe, this album would be his last album, and we wouldn't see nothing from your boy anymore. He would have been done with his rap career. But he's turning 48, Eminem, Marshall Mathers. Marshall is turning 48, almost 50, and as time keeps going, there's going to be a point where either he is gone or he will not say being washed up, but he might consider leaving. So this album, I want to say, could still exist. This album could come out. Either if we get a unfortunate passing by the man, and I'm not trying to wish that on him. No, he's the greatest artist alive to date. He's in my top 3 favorite rappers of all time. I connect with him on not a personal level, but just an emotional connection, because there was rough patches in my life where I just escaped through music, and Eminem is one of those people that I listen to. So we're gonna get into this video. We're going to see what transitioned through 2006 to 2007, why the album didn't release and stuff like that. So let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's see if this is right. Okay, 3, 2, 1, boom.
Hey guys, today I'm going to be discussing the very popular rumor that Eminem was supposedly making an album called King Mathers during his hiatus, specifically 2006 to 2007. Even though his hiatus started in 2005, he released Curtain Call and went on tour, so this year's out the picture, he wouldn't have an album. And then 2008, he was busy with rehab.
So this guy gives the list right here. So he released Curtain Call, which was like a mixture of all of his songs, and then there was an extended version, which is the deluxe version of it, that had newer songs. When I'm Gone was one of the songs. He did one, Renegade, with Jay-Z. There was some songs on there that he's done. Curtain Call was one of my favorites too. But yeah, after Curtain Call, he took a hiatus, and then he had his relapse so he had his rehab, and the Relapse album was when he started making it around 2007, or 2008.
And starting his album Relapse, so that's a little bit too late. So we're going to be talking about the in-between years. I'll also talk about why the title...
I'm going to try not to pause too much for you guys, so this is going to be... Unless I have something really major to say, I'm just not going to pause it as much so you guys can understand the video, because I'm bad at explaining things. If I just did a video explaining it, it would be all over the place. I should take notes, but your boy's too lazy for that.
is rumored to be King Mathers at the end of the video, but for now we'll just go with that and just call it an unreleased album. But you guys know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, in theory, this album would be his 5th solo album under Shady Records and Aftermath. It would be released.
Okay, quick point. Didn't mean to pause it, but if this was to come true after Encore, we would have had King Mathers, the album. We would have had that, and that would be his final album. So if you really think about it, there would only be 5 studio albums, and the man would have been gone from his rap career. So that's crazy. Just think about it. 5 studio albums, and he got so much traction from the Marshall Mathers LP, and then in a span of, seems like years ago. It's crazy how times change. It's crazy how the man's still going at the pace he is at 48 years old. Happy birthday to the GOAT.
Released sometime in the second half of 2007 alongside 50 Cent's album Curtis and the County Hound EP by Cassius. The album would follow after his previous album Encore and be the next chapter in his musical career. It would cover subjects like talking about new age rappers that don't really have good lyrics. As we can see with the leak song Syllables, he talks about that. It would also talk about his relationships, like mainly Kim, his family, and it would definitely have touched on Proof's situation because he passed away in 2006 and that greatly affected him. In general, the album would be very serious and dark compared to his other albums because of the personal things he was going through, like mainly depression and addiction, even though he was...
Yeah, it was around this time that Eminem was growing more and more of a habit with drugs, and how everything in his life was starting to go downhill from being popular, from being the man think about it. You're in the time of 2005 to 2006. A lot of people knew who Eminem was. And to this day, there's still a lot of people knowing who Eminem is, because he's gained a lot of attraction from his controversial lyrics from the Marshall Mathers LP. If it wasn't for the Marshall Mathers LP, he wouldn't have gotten to the fame that he is today. And I'm not saying that it was just that, but the man was good at what he did. The man was he knew how to rap. He knew what he perfected his craft. What is what I'm trying to say? He perfected what he did because he went to the controversial side of things, and the man's the GOAT. The man. Happy birthday, GOAT. I'm gonna keep saying this in the video, but this is the Eminem birthday special thing. So yeah.
He was unable to admit he was addicted at the time. It really affected his head with all those drugs. So in the mix, there would still be some songs like on Encore that were silly, but I imagine there'd be a lot less of them. But it's still possible because he was on drugs. Part 1, an album is forming. So M was on his hiatus and he was taking a break from making a full studio album and planning one and releasing it and planning a tour and everything after Curtain Call in 2005. But we know after many interviews and many Eminem songs that he's always in the studio, always making music. It's his outlet.
Yeah, the man's always working. The man is a workhorse in the business of that he has. People give him too much. Not a lot of people, but there are some people that give him flack for his songs. But he's a perfectionist. He wants it to be perfect. Going back to Relapse, people didn't like it. So when he wanted to release Relapse 2, he didn't know how to take it. When he heard people didn't like it, people didn't really fully was like, yeah, this is good. People were like, oh, this is bad. This is trash. Worst album ever. It got to his head, so he never released Relapse 2. And it sucks. What if we had Relapse 2? What if he actually released the King Mathers album? Just think about it. There's a lot of things that he could have done. He could have quit rap if he made the King Mathers album. If he actually went through with it, the man would have quit what he loves today, and we wouldn't have seen Music to Be Murdered By. We wouldn't have seen Kamikaze. We wouldn't have seen Revival. Even though people give flack about that album, the man does what he loves, and We all have to respect that. Like Jordan Lucas said, give a rose to basically your role model, basically that hero in your life, because you never know when they're going to be gone. So I give my rose to Eminem because he helped me through a lot of times, and he's done that with multiple. Everyone that listened to his songs helped him in some sort of way, and there will be a lot of people that would actually tell you that. So Eminem is one of the greatest rappers alive. I mean, hands down.
He loves to do it. Even if he's taking a break, he's still going to be in the studio. So even during his hiatus, he was. We know that because he was producing for other artists.
And these are just my opinions. These are just my opinions on things. If you have a different opinion about an artist, and that's fine with me. You know, we this channel is we all have our own opinions. So
artist doing features, trying to make some of his own songs, probably like the leaked ones, producing beats for himself, and even released the re-up a couple weeks before the start of 2007. So he had that the dude's working on. The compilation album was very similar in production, flows, lyrics to what the rumored album would be. So in 2006 he had the re-up, and then in 2007 he would have his studio album supposedly, and that supposed studio album would be very similar because the re-up was from the same time period, sort of like how the Eminem show and 8 Mile came out around the same time, and they both go together in terms of like style musically. So anyways, since he was making music about his life as an outlet and a hobby, when things started to get rough with his depression, he started to get more musical content. We have leaked songs about Proof, his second divorce, songs responding to people saying Eminem has fallen off or his career.
see, and that would get to someone if you were doing something that you loved and you had personal problems going on where where your your wife divorces you, you lose a best friend, then you go to a place which is your work that you really love to do, that people start criticizing you for, saying that you're not good enough anymore, that you've fallen off. It would get to you. So Eminem went to more he used more drugs in his life, and the man's turning around to this day. The man could have died. You know, it's still crazy how the man's 48 years old, still going. Respect to the GOAT. Respect him. I respect him. That's my opinion. I respect Eminem. That's me as a person. I respect him.
Career was over. Mainly like GOAT and I Get Money. He talks about that. And then since M's team had pulled him away from the public eye, all he could really do was sulk at home or in the studio and try to make music as his only outlet. He had a problem with writer's block, so even though he didn't have topics to rap about, he couldn't effectively do this. That's why a lot of songs come from the time period, have no meaning, like Smack That, Touchdown, Peep Show, just catchy songs about girls, clubs, sex, cars, and being rich, and nothing crazy. Like his first 3 studio albums, full of various content.
See, like right here, people saying, like right here, this comment at the very bottom, saying his last good recorded was the Marshall Mathers LP. Bitch fell off big time. If you were an artist and you had people from saying you did something that you love to do and you got major traction, like say for example, you make a YouTube channel, you do some controversial, and there's a lot of people that like you and a lot of people that hate you, but more genuine people like you. So then you start pleasing to the fans. And as you keep going, personal issues come along. Then you have friends, for example, that probably were your best friends, and then something happens to them. Either they die or they just move away from your life. And then you have some relationship problems going on, friends problems going on, family stuff going on, and then it affects you at the thing that you love to do. So then people are like, "Oh, he's fallen off. He's not the same that he used to be." It's gonna get to you, no matter who you are as a human being. That's gonna get to you. So it's just crazy how the man's still going to this day. and it's still happening to this day. There's still people that say he's fallen off, that he can't rap anymore, and the man's still going at 48. The man, happy birthday, mother goat.
Now, this is where the album comes in. See, M reached a point where he wanted to quit because of a combination of all the problems I listed above. And we knew he wanted to quit because, number one, the leaked It's Been Real outro where he directly states he's quitting. And two, on Revival in the song Castle, Eminem has 3 verses as 3 letters from his past self written to his daughter. And the third letter, or the third verse, is dated December 2007, and he writes a letter about just wanting to put out his last album so he can be done with rap and give up. He clearly didn't feel motivated and super interested in rap anymore. And also, the song Beautiful is from his hiatus, and he talks about feeling done with rap. So we know that this was going to be the end. So the music from the time period that he had worked on, whatever, 2006, 2007, just to keep in the vault, combined with obviously final touches like It's Been Real to say that he's quitting, would form this final album announcing his retirement. I will now discuss what those songs are. Part 2, confirmed tracks for this album. Any unreleased song during his hiatus can be said to have been from this final album. Specifically, 2006 and 2007 is where the bulk are from. There are 2 sections of songs. The first is confirmed based on logic, and then the other one is just time period songs based on theories. Both types of songs blend in together and fit the same style of production and rap, so theoretically, they could be on the same album and it would make sense, but only the confirmed songs we know for sure would have been on this album. I'll now talk about the confirmed songs. Before I start, I want to disclose that, of course, all the songs I'm listing have similar flows, style, topics, themes, and production to his general style of 2006 and 2007. That's just my first layer of evidence, because my second layer will just be more in detail and specific to each song. So, the first of these songs is Careful What You Wish For. It was actually released in 2009 as a relapse bonus track, but using basic knowledge we know.
So, the reason I'm pausing it here, I didn't pause it for quite a bit, sorry. It's just, I've listened to these songs. They're good. I like Careful What You Wish For, because that was, we got Careful What You Wish For the refill part of the album from Relapse. He did Relapse, then we did a bonus track, and then he did a refill, which was technically the part 2, Relapse 2, but it wasn't official. It was just the same songs, but with more bonus tracks and stuff. So we got Careful What You Wish For. So we got that for that album, and then the other songs were just leaks. I've heard 50 Ways, I've heard The Apple, I've heard Syllabus, I've heard Goat, and I've heard It's Been Real. And they're all really good songs. In my opinion, I like them, but it's your guys' opinion. And again, this is a happy birthday video to the GOAT. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, man. Have a good 48, man.
Know that it was from earlier. In the lyrics, he says, 8 years later, I'm still at it. Which, if you listen to the song and know the context, he's basically saying, 8 years after I got famous rapping, I got my wish of being famous, I'm still at it making music. So,
see, in the song, even everyone wishes for something. Everyone wants something, and they wish for something. They wish that they had something. But be careful. You wish for it, there could be side effects to it. Like Eminem, he wished that he could make it. He made it, but comes along the bad things. Divorced, he got remarried, then he got divorced again. He was a felon, a father, sleeping pill addict. You know, he was addicted to drugs. He was addicted to sleeping medication. He was addicted to a lot of drugs. And then on top of that, people started to say that, oh, he's fallen off, that he's not as good as he used to be. It's gonna get to someone. Just like I said, I'm rehashing the same topic I said before, but it's true.
So if we go back to when that was when the Slim Shady LP released and he got super famous. So obviously that's 1999, his first major label debut album. And so if you add 8 years later to that, it lands us at 2007. Plus, in the intro, the news reporters mentioned various events from 2005, starting with his tour bus crash, divorce with his wife in 2006, and then Proof dies in 2006. But it does not mention his major overdose that he almost died from in the intro, which would seem like it would be the most important thing out of everything leading him up to the present time. But this was not mentioned because I think that it was before the overdose. So yes, it's possible the verses could have been written in 2007 and he recorded it later, but I seriously doubt that, as I can't imagine Relapse era M going back to his old sheets of lyrics from years ago when he was depressed, pulling them out and recording a full song, mixing it and mastering it and releasing it as a bonus track. It was in a completely different direction from his 2009 Relapse music, so why would he go through all that work when he was already interested in doing accent songs and murder serial killer songs? I think the song was finished in 2007 around that time, but he added it as a bonus track to give people one last taste of this Eminem from before his overdose on Relapse, so there would be at least another non-serial killer rapist M track. It's bonus material after all. So next is 50 Ways, which is about M's divorce, and in 2006, how his relationship with Kim is now. He mentions getting her a new car, which he did in 2006 or 2007, even though they were divorced. I read online that this did happen in 2007, but I can't be sure on that. There's not a lot of articles left or pictures because they've either been deleted or aren't working anymore. So this song's either 2006 or 2007. It's after their divorce, which was in 2006 100%. So again, this song fits perfectly. The last group from all these leaks were either on the Straight from the Vault bootleg or Straight from the Lab Part 2, which you can download off my website. Now I'm still continuing with the confirmed ones. We have the Apple first up, and in the third verse of the Apple, Eminem mentions Cassius and how he gave his own bulletproof vest to him, the one that he got in 2003. Now Cassius was signed in 2006, so the song is at least from after then. Of course, it took time for the relationship to grow after he just got signed in 06, so by 07, I'd say M was really close to Cassius, and that's when this song came from. They worked together a lot, we know that. M produced for him a bunch of songs, including songs for his EP, which was released, and no other shady artist that was newly signed, including Bobby Creekwater and Stack Quo, got a project like this, but Cassius did for whatever reason. I guess because M thought he was the best out of them, and they made a lot of songs together. M even bought him a new car in 2007, so of course we can assume the song is from 2007 when they were hanging out a lot. Next is Syllables. It's either 2006 or 2007, but because of the accent that M uses, it's similar to Touchdown, which is also 2007. It just makes the most sense to be released in that same time period, and that's the ongoing theory. There's not much to say about this song. So it could be 2006, most likely 07. Finally, we have Goat and It's Been Real. M references several rappers who were huge in 2007 in Goat, which leads us to believe that song is from then. Usually doesn't reference people from like a year old. Like if they were really popular in rap, it wouldn't make sense to like randomly mention them from a year ago. So that's what I'm thinking. And then also in the outro of Goat, it directly leads into It's Been Real because he says it's been real even, and he's basically saying he's quitting. It fades out, and then It's Been Real starts. So we can assume that those two songs are from the same time period when he was wanting to quit and give up. So It's Been Real, of course, is a message to people before he quits. And since Eminem mentioned that he was going to quit in 2007 in Castle, we know that this has to be 2007. So it's basically confirmed that these two were also 2007. So moving on, we now have the time period songs that I was talking about earlier. So yes, they're from the same time period, but we don't know if he was actually going to put these on the album because they were very great or they were too personal or whatever. So they are Give Me the Ball, also called Detroit Basketball sometimes, I Get Money, Ballin' Uncontrollably, and Difficult. Give Me the Ball is a fun track with a catchy beat about basketball. He references a lot of players that were popular in 2007 on the Detroit team. Doesn't say much with the song because he had writer's block. I guess he just was making a song for fun, trying to think of stuff to say. Most likely 2007. And then I Get Money was actually a song by 50 Cent first, and it was released in 2007, but probably heard it and just wished he could have a hit like that. So he just made his own verse over it just to keep in the vault, and it was actually leaked, and that's how we know about it. I don't think it was a full song, but if you do combine 50 Cent's song with I Get Money by Eminem, then you get a full song that's like sort of a remix, and you could actually have that as a perfect bonus track on King Mathers or just a single from the time. And the song embodies his 2007 personality and mindset regarding his career very, very well because he's talking about how people thought he'd fallen off, but he's saying he hasn't, and he's coming back with his final album. And so I think it fits well. even though it's still unfinished. Now, next is Ballin' Uncontrollably, which is also from 2007 because since he uses a little sample of I Get Money's hook for a few seconds, and I think it's in the middle of the song somewhere, we can assume that this song is from then too, because it's like it would just be odd if you pulled a random song from a year ago and then put that in for a few seconds. He probably was in the studio making a bunch of random songs because he had writer's block. He made I Get Money, and then next he did Ballin' Uncontrollably, and it was like, okay, there's a few seconds of silence in this song. I'll just throw in a little clip of I Get Money for whatever reason. No, it's just a silly song talking about how he's rich, and he uses a fake Southern accent exactly like Touchdown, which is also from 2007. So we basically know that this is from that time too. Finally, for Difficult, this was made after Proof died, most likely between 2006 and 2007, of course, after he died, but then before he got clean. So from then, it's pretty much confirmed. And since the song is unfinished and extremely personal, we don't really know if this would have been meant for public release. But in my opinion, since he was so depressed and Proof was
Okay, it's been a while since I haven't talked. I'm sorry, guys. I've been listening to this. But you know, R.I.P. Proof. Just it's just I'm just sitting here thinking, man, we could have had him quit rap. There could have been a time that came where he actually quit rap. In an alternate universe, that could have happened. It's just it's just crazy. And that difficult track, it was good. I liked it. It was good. But yeah, just listening to the songs, and I've heard the I Get Money one, but I don't really remember it because it was taken down by YouTube a lot. You can't even find it on YouTube. Same for Syllabus. I mean, it was up at one point, then it was down, then it was up again. I don't even know if it's still up though. But it's a good song. It kind of plays on to what Eminem does now, like what he says now about the change in rap and how people are not as good as like lyrical, and they're just going to more mumble and stuff. So I mean, some of these songs that he was basically saying how everything is transitioning over to mumble is kind of what he's doing now. And it's kind of weird thinking about it, but I still think, and it's still possible that we could get this album probably when he feels like he wants to quit or wants to retire, or we could get it if something happens to him, as in like something serious happens to him. Um, but I don't want to say King Mathers is not going to happen. It could possibly, but it could be under a new name. But just it's just crazy thinking about that he could have quit after making 4 studio albums. Just we wouldn't have gotten Music to Be Murdered by, Kamikaze, Revival, Relapse, Recovery. Um, so yeah, just yeah, thinking about it, it's crazy. It's crazy.
was so important to him. I feel like he would have wanted to release a dedication track. But then when he got clean and realized, I guess none of these songs are good enough for him, that's why in Relapse, he has a little message on the booklet that says that he couldn't make a song good enough for him. But in his 2007 mindset, I bet he would have released this. Now, before I end this section, I want to talk about Wee Wee for a second. This song was leaked, and it was from 2008 because he references a movie that came out in the October of 2008. And so it's way after he overdosed, meaning he was clean when he made it. He was just still suffering from writer's block, I guess, and was making silly songs for whatever reason. This is not a King Mathers track, and a month later, or actually later that month, he would finally get a writer's block, and he would have his relapse stuff come out, like the I'm Having a Relapse verse, and then Crack a Bottle he'd make, and the other ones that I talk about in my Relapse 2 video with all his sessions. So that's about 10 songs that I've listed, obviously excluding Wee Wee. So a little more than half an album. We don't really know for sure if the time period songs that I mentioned would have been on it. So there's probably around 5 to 10 more songs we've never heard that could have been on this album. And again, the album was probably unfinished too. Part 3, mystery songs. So in this section, I'm going to talk about some songs we have no idea about, except that there's a title or a short description, and they were from the time period, but we've never heard them, heard snippets or anything. The first one is Whatever You Want It to Be, and this was from the same sessions as Touchdown, and this was Eminem and T.I. working together. Now, I suspect that this song turned into I Can Be, and it was released by Helava, but the original version was T.I.'s song. So maybe Eminem just did the hook, and this was a song for T.I.'s album that was unreleased. So maybe not King Mathers. But the second one for sure is an unknown title, but it's with T.I., and it's about their alter egos. And this was also confirmed in the same article as whatever you want it to be. I'll have it in the description. Next up is Never Gave a Fuck Less with Obi Trice, Cassius, and 50 Cent. Cassius put out a Facebook post that said that this song was coming soon or whatever. I don't think it was coming soon, but it was a song from their shady days. Obviously, in 2011, they.
I'm more interested in the third one. Okay, I really want to know what the third one. Okay, the last one, Keys to the City 2. That one kind of gets to me. I don't know what that song is about. I'm kind of interested in those two. That one and the alter ego. They're featuring about their old Untitled Ti featuring about their alter egos. I would like to hear that one. Um, I don't know. Keys to the City just I don't know. It just sounds I don't know. I don't know how that song would go. Mystery to this day.
They weren't working together anymore. 50 Cent had done his own thing. Cassius was basically done. Obi Trice was, I don't know if he'd been dropped yet or what happened with that, but they weren't going to release a song together in 2011. Eminem was busy making his next studio album or working on the Bad Meets Evil EP. So this song, I bet, is from his hiatus back in the day, and Cassius was trying to stir up hype for it so that he could get the label to release it, something like that. Finally, we have Keys to the City, which a producer in 2008 had a hold of and was going to release it. And I imagine that it was meant for his 2007 album, but because he overdosed and he was going in rehab, it was delayed. And the DJ wanted to release it, but Eminem didn't want him to, so we've never heard of that. But it's most likely from King Mathers. So yeah, that's pretty much all the songs that we don't know much about, but we know that they exist. I'll also say that T.I. and Cassius were basically confirmed to be on the album. So of course we had the T.I. song that I mentioned earlier, and then Cassius worked with Eminem so much in 2006 and 2007 that they would definitely have a song. We just don't know the title. Like M believed this guy was going to be the next 50 Cent and blow up. They worked together so much and did so many things together. He even gets a huge shout out on It's Been Real. So there's no way he wouldn't have been on the album. Part 4, the title. I want to go over this quickly because King Mathers is basically assumed to be the title, but we don't really know why, and there's not much to explain why other than what Cassius has said. So, first off, Cassius referred to Eminem as King Mathers as a nickname starting in 2000.
Yeah, in a lot of Cassius songs, you would hear him reference Marshall as King Mathers, just as I guess a role model figure. He looked at him as a king for a lot of the times that he was under Marshall's services and stuff. So, I mean, that's probably why Marshall named it King Mathers. But he could release King Mathers when he wants to retire or feels like he wants to quit. I don't know if he's gonna quit, but whenever he feels like retiring from rap, I feel like he'll either give us King Mathers, which will either be a mixture of some of the songs from 2008, maybe remakes of the songs from 2007 to 2006, and then or just some of the songs from there, or he could release a whole new thing but name it King Mathers. There's a lot of speculations. To me, I still feel like this album would come out if he retires, quits, or if he unfortunately passes away. But you know what? Happy birthday, man. Hope you're having a great 48. 48.
2006, there was a TRL show. It's since been deleted from YouTube, so I'm sorry that I can't show it. But basically, he just says King Mathers just in a transition when everybody was cheering, and then the host was trying to talk to Eminem. So that was nothing special. But then in Pistol Poppin', the lead track off of his EP and Syllables, You Think That I'm Crazy, and a bunch more songs, Cassius calls him King Mathers. He says stuff like, King Mathers is brought to you by the great King Mathers, or I breathe in drama, King Mathers and Cash Me, or from the West Coast chapter of King Mathers, blah blah blah. So you get the idea. He was basically calling him this a crap ton in the time period. And so also,
we have an ad, ladies and gentlemen.
I need you to tell me everything. Face the facts now and make this a whole...
in 2012, there was an interview where Cassius said, "I wish y'all could have heard the King Mathers album. It was so incredible, man." So at first glance, basically sounds like he's saying that the album was called King Mathers, and he wishes that we could have heard it. But of course, it got scrapped, and then by 2012, Eminem had moved on.
We never really know. I feel like he'll still name it King Mathers, but he might either redo the songs, put some features on it, or just make new songs and name it King Mathers, or scratch the King Mathers concept and have a whole new album, but still would technically be like a King Mathers, but not the actual King Mathers, if you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, we never really, we'll never know.
On to new stuff. And so if you think about it, though, he could just be saying that I wish y'all could have heard the Eminem album. It was so incredible, man, because he called him King Mathers so much. But we really don't know, and I think it would be kind of weird if he called him King Mathers in 2012 because M wasn't really his mentor anymore. It was mainly 2007 because, you know, M was teaching him stuff, was helping him rap, helping him with songs, getting production and stuff. So he was like his mentor. He was respecting him by calling him the King Mathers, the King of Rap. And I think by this time that wasn't really the case. So there's a small chance that this really was the official title, but in general, we don't know what the title was. Now, I call it King Mathers for a few reasons. Number one, it was his last album, and it would make sense to announce that he's a king of rap before he quits because he wants to have that legacy. Number two, Cash has said it a bunch, like I talked about. And number three, M was high on pills, and he was upset people said he'd fallen off, so he just wanted to announce that he was a super good rapper. He was a GOAT, he was a king, and I think it would kind of make sense to have a corny title like that because he was on so many drugs. He was not going through a good time. And, you know, he was making a ton of club songs around this time. He wasn't doing his usual intricate storytelling like Stan. So it makes sense to me. Now, I'm going to pause and give a summary of the album. So we have 5 to 10 songs that we know were meant for the album that I talked about in the first section. And then we have 10 to 15 unreleased songs, including the ones that we know the titles of. And then a T.I. and Cassius song were some of those, of course. It would also maybe be a shorter album due to the lack of motivation and passion he had for rap, as well as his writer's block. It would also be dark, depressing, and his last album. So that's all we know, and I'm going to give the conclusion now. Part 5, conclusion. Eminem overdosed in 2007, marking the end of his King Mathers era. He would struggle for a few months with a relapse and finally get clean in mid-2008 after rehab. These events completely halted any form of an album release, and since he got inspired to make Relapse, this whole last album, King Mathers, went in the trash. The only reason we have so many leaks is because an internet user paid a studio engineer to leak a bunch of these songs. So somewhere there's an alternate reality in which he drops King Mathers at the end of 2007.
Wait,
and
hold on.
He overdoses. Maybe he dies. Maybe he lives. But for the rest of his life, that's it. He's done with rap. And King Mathers.
Yeah, I mean, there's an alternate universe out there somewhere where King Mathers was his last album, and we only got 5 studio albums. But thankfully, that wasn't the case. We got more albums. We got Relapse, Recovery, Revival, Kamikaze, and now 2020's kickoff starter of Music to Be Murdered By. So, you know, it's just crazy to think about that could be his last album in that era. So, man.
Mathers is all we get. So this is why so many fans create their own versions because we are all curious into the story and that alternate reality where the album would have been released.
And not a lot of people knew about this. Like, a lot of Eminem's like fans or stans. A lot of the like hardcore know about King Mathers. There's a lot of casual fans and some fans that don't do their research that just don't completely know about this. And there's a lot of people that don't know the story behind it. So, yeah.
I've even made my own version using all this research.
And look out for a video today because I'm going to do my own King Mathers, but it will have some of the songs from that plus a good couple songs from his other albums before. So just keep an eye out for that one.
Taking into account every single detail. You can find it on my website and on my channel. I'll be posting it soon, if not already, and you can check it out right now. So when King Mathers fan albums are made, not only do we compile the leaks from the time period, but we also use songs that Eminem featured on in 2007 in order to make the album long enough. So we also create skits, add transitions, remaster leaks, add bonus tracks, make custom art, and more to make it seem like a real album. So make sure you check out my King Mathers. It'll have all the leaks that I've mentioned in a good order, as well as, like I said, unfortunately, we have to include some features from the time period to really capture the album, or else it would just be an EP. Now, that's going to be all for this video. If you want to learn more, you can read the links in the description.
Alright, guys, this is going to be the end of the video. Just thinking about it, guys. Do you guys, if Eminem announced his retirement, or he announced that he was quitting, or something would have happened, would you guys want to see a last album and this be it? Now, if you look at this here, we're gonna go back to full screen right now. If you look at the actual list here, this was by this guy named John, right? Johnny Boy. Yeah, John _ banana. He is really good. Go subscribe to him. I'm already subscribed because I like his concept for album stuff, but I'm gonna call him Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy here made his own version of the album, and I gotta say, in my opinion, it's not bad. So yeah, I mean, you know, I'm gonna try to do my own King Mathers version. Try to do it today on Eminem's birthday. Make my own King Mathers album. It's just gonna be for fun. There will be some of the song titles that you see here, but some of them it will also be a compilation of his old songs too. It won't be the newer stuff that you guys have seen like Godzilla, Rap God, and stuff like that. It would actually be in the time frame of this album. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button. It just takes 1 second to just smash the like button. Also subscribe. We're almost to 60 by the end of the year. Let's get to 60 by the end of the year, boys and girls. We can't wait. And also go subscribe to Johnny. I will have his channel in the description. Johnny Boy. I'm gonna call him Johnny Boy. That's your nickname, Johnny. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to try to be more consistent with my videos. There's going to be a schedule. I guess I'm going to do one every week. Just so that I can keep my creative abilities keep going. So one